So my name is Genndy Tartakovsky. I'm the creator and director of Samurai Jack. After we finished the first run, the first 4 seasons, I was kind of burned out. Everybody kind of moved on with their careers. And then through the last, 12 years, I felt like Jack got more and more popular.
For the last, 10 years, I've had people, they say, when are they gonna end it? Is there gonna be a conclusion? Is he ever gonna get back to the past? I'm like, I don't know. The questions you're asking are way above my pay grade.
For the last, by the way, last 10 years, we've been trying to develop a movie. And the movie never gets going, right? For whatever reason. And I was thinking, you know what? I have a little bit of free time before the next project, grabs me. And maybe I should just finish it the way it really should be done in a mini-series for television. And so I just wrote an email, and Lazo called me the next day, and then within 2 weeks the deal was done, and we were off.
Oh, thank you, kind sir.
So the finale of the last episode, 52, and the beginning of this one have no connection. And so when we start, we're definitely a few years later. You don't have to watch episode 52 to start the season. So what's changed in Jack's world is a lot. There's a lot of drama that's happened, and until the first episode airs, I kind of do want to give it away because I think it's such a cool reveal of everything that I'm not going to say anything.
I think we're going to see him in a new light because we're going to see him from a different standpoint. In the original series, he was a very heroic person on a very rigid quest. Now we pick up with him, and it's many years after the fact, and he's a little bit lost. So it's a story of redemption and him trying to find who he is again.
Well, this new series of Samurai Jack is much more intense, and I think it's more moody and more emotional. Has more stronger, real emotion.
Yeah, making Samurai for Adult Swim versus Cartoon Network, it's been a big, not burden, but a big challenge. Because at the same time, people watched it with their kids, through the generations, right? And so I didn't want to go full on, heads getting chopped off, blood splurting everywhere. But at the same time, I also wanted it to be kind of newer and exciting and take advantage of some of those things. The way Jack's going to be different, he's definitely the same. There's more darkness to it. It's one story, right? Kind of one episodic story. The action is just as badass as it's always going to be, probably even more.
Now he's riding on top of all the Beetlejuice.
Jack has been redesigned for the new show, and the proportions have changed a little bit. Everything's a little more elegant, a little more heroic, a little less cartoony.
Jack has a beard, a big beard, like a Dollar Shave Club style beard.
I think Samurai Jack's legacy has been the art. I think people really responded to it, especially artists. So many times people say, oh, I got into the industry because of your show and stuff. And so that feels great,
Old Jack's style was definitely paper and pencil on paper.
Technology is different. We're using computers now instead of hamsters like the old days.
And so now with the great, with Photoshop and these other things and the Cintiq tablets and stuff now, you actually can draw quite comfortably straight digitally into the thing.
And that's a big challenge because I really want the show to look like the original show, to look hand-painted. So we're trying really hard to achieve that digitally.
Scott has really made a huge effort to still make them feel like they're handcrafted. That's really the biggest thing we're trying to do is not to make it feel digital.
And the thing is, you're still drawing when it's digitally. It's just that if you need to erase something or change something or blow something up or anyone who works on a computer knows that it's a bit easier. You don't have to cut and paste now we got to cut this thing out because I don't want to have to redraw all that stuff. So yeah.
My quest has finally ended. I became the voice of Samurai Jack through the most ordinary circumstances possible. I auditioned. I wish there was something. Well, we met on the top of the Himalayas, and we looked at each other and knew there was something special, but 10 years later, we've came together to do this project. Now, it was regular old showbiz.
Working with Phil Lamar, who does the voice of Samurai Jack, is great. When I hired Phil, he gets it. He understands it. He can read the storyboard and know where Jack is at. Because we're doing all this more emotional, more deeper character stuff, he's taken it to kind of that next level,
What do I like most about voicing Jack? It's the easiest job in show business. He says like 4 lines. Then there'll be like some other guy's like, well, let me explain the whole plot of the story. And I just go, I see. I will find it. And then I'm done.
I'd say my favorite character to write for is Aku, of course. The original series, Mako brought so much great energy to him.
Who dares to summon the master of masters?
Not only is he demonic, but he's the most hilarious character in the whole universe. So it's been a lot of fun being able to get back into him and seeing how he's changed in this series.
I mean, Mako's passing was hard. I thought about first changing his voice to something completely different, you know, but Aku is so special and his voice was such a part of it, I didn't want to kind of reboot him, you know. So we got a guy who does a pretty good imitation. I mean, look, I'll be upfront, but nobody can replace Mako 100%.
What made me really want to write for Samurai Jack is it's where I started, you know, and it's my chance to really get in there and help kind of like see out the end of the series.
My favorite thing about working on Samurai Jack is getting a chance to work again with Genndy and Scott, and I'm a fan of their work and a fan of the show.
I've worked on a lot of shows, and I've been really fortunate to work on some fantastic projects. But this one's special. I don't consider this a regular cartoon. I consider this show a work of art.
I think people are going to be just stunned at the new season right off the bat, like right off the first sequence. It's just, like I said, it's turned up a notch, and it is just unbelievable. It's amazing.
Because the whole thing for me about filmmaking, about storytelling, is you want the audience to care. So I think that's the newest thing, is that, you know, the action's going to be off the charts great, right? But if we can get the emotional connection, then it's going to feel like a whole different show. The secret of making a great show is having people around you that are better than you. So everything that they do is nothing that I could do, and so it's really easy. So all I'm guiding them on is the story, the feeling, and the mood. Everything else they hit out of the park, you know. So it's really the best scenario for me. And I take credit for everything, so it's pretty awesome.
Back to the past, Samurai Jack.